Hi everyone, today we will be talking to you about Dionysus. This is Faye. It's her first debut. Dionysus is the god of wine, fertility, theater, madness, religious ecstasy, and vegetation. In Athens, he was known as Dionysus and Feys, which means the blooming. He was believed to help flowers bloom. He was also known as Dionysus Dendrites, the god of tree, the giver of foliage. Dionysus Feys, the fertilizing. Feys was also used as a suffix for Zeus, but Zeus brought rain, so he fertilized the earth. Dionysus was used in the fertility for procreational purposes. Dionysus was also known as Melpomerus, which is the singer, for his theatrical abilities. His sacred animal is the panther. His sacred plant is the grapevine. However, you will often see him depicted with ivy around him as well. And his symbol is the tharsis, which was used to ferment the wine in. The cult in Athens had many holidays dedicated to Dionysus. Haloa, which was a female-only fertility festival. It took place in a garden, and there was wine tasting. There was no meat served. It was all meatless dishes, and they actually had cakes in the phallic shape. Then there was the Greater Dionysia, which was a play competition that lasted over a week. It had 3 days of comedies, 3 days of tragedies, and 2 days of satire plays. This was also a fertility fest as well. There was a lot of wine drinking, and there were orgies that took place during this festival. My favorite festival for Dionysus, however, is Aora, which is where images and fruit are hung from trees, and and people swing on trees. This holiday was originally used to ward off the potential madness that Dionysus plagued Athens with. And I'll be reading the myth from that in just a second. But tomorrow is Olympia, which is a holiday to Zeus. It was a holiday in which there was a procession, and you okay? All right. There was a procession where Zeus's idol was carried around the town into the town square, and there they sacrificed oxen to Zeus. And then after the sacrifice was a feast. So I don't suggest you do the sacrificing part, maybe light a candle, but a feast is always nice. But that's tomorrow, if anyone was interested in celebrating these holidays. So back to Dionysus, the myth that I was going to tell you for Dionysus is the myth of where he taught man to create wine. Dionysus came to Earth, and he made friends with a man named Icarios and his daughter Erogene. He took to Icarios so well that he gave him a clipping from his vineyard and taught him to grow grapes and to turn them into wine. After the seasons passed and Icarios had a full vineyard, Dionysus went back. Icarios ended up fermenting his first batch of wine, and he was so pleased with it that he brought it to the local shepherds for them to have a taste. The local shepherds hastily drank the sweet mixture, and they didn't leave anything behind. And then they promptly fell into a drunken sleep. Since the shepherds did not come home, the shepherd's family came to look for them. And when they found Icarios with them and all the shepherds asleep, they assumed he had poisoned them. So they murdered Icarios and left him where he fell, and they went back home. The shepherds awoke from their drunken sleep, found Icarios, and mournfully buried him. However, they were not able to dig a proper deep grave. It was a very shallow grave, but they put him underneath a beautiful tree. Icarios' daughter Erogene and their dog went looking for her. She went looking for her father, since he did not return home. And the dog found his remains underneath the tree. Erogene was overcome with so much grief that she hung herself. She went mad, and she hung herself from the tree that Icarios was buried under. The dog was so upset that both its masters have gone that it jumped into a well. Just check it on her real quick. That it jumped into a well and drowned itself. Upon seeing all this, Dionysus plagued Athens with madness. All the Athenian girls would go insane and hang themselves, and all the men would be blighted by illness. Dionysus said that anyone who wishes to be cured must pour libations and sacrifices to Icarios and his family. Eventually, as time passed, more and more sacrifices went to Icarios, and they ended up getting enough sacrifices that Dionysus was able to move them into the stars and bring them to live among the gods. But that's what this holiday Iora is, to ward off the madness that Dionysus plagued Athens with. It is in remembrance of Icarios and his daughter. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I had a little sidetracked with Faye running around, but I wasn't able to do this during her nap. So if you have any questions or you have any comments, just, post them below. If you want me to do a specific god or goddess, leave a question about it, and I will get to it. Alright, have a wonderful day. We'll see you next week.